Hold up. The Dower Act was a significant piece of legislation passed in Alberta, Canada in 1911 to protect married women's property rights. Before its enactment, women had little to no legal control over properties owned by their husbands. The act was largely championed by Emily Murphy, a prominent women's rights activist and reformer. At the time, married women were vulnerable to financial instability if their husbands sold or mortgaged family properties without their consent. The Dower Act aimed to ensure that wives had a claim to a portion of their husband's real estate. It granted married women the right to 1/3 life interest in their husband's property after his death. One of the most crucial aspects of the law was that a husband could not sell or transfer property without the wife's written consent. This provision prevented women from being left homeless or financially destitute due to their husband's financial decision. The act applied to all legally married women regardless of their social or economic status. Although progressive for its time, the Dower Act still reflected the era's patriarchal views. By assuming that property ownership primarily rested with men, women were given a protective right rather than full ownership or independent economic power. The law was later expanded and modified to strengthen women's financial security. Other Canadian provinces and jurisdictions introduced similar Dower rights legislation to protect married women. Over time, however, Dower laws were gradually replaced by modern matrimonial property laws, which recognize equal rights and equal ownership in marriage. Alberta's Dower Act remained in effect with amendments, but became increasingly outdated. In the late 20th century, the focus shifted towards equal division of marital assets rather than Dower rights. The Matrimonial Property Act of 1978 in Alberta modernized these rights, ensuring equal division of property upon divorce. Many legal experts view it as a more equitable approach of property distribution. Despite being outdated, the Dower Act still exists in Alberta today, though its practical application is limited. It primarily applies to cases where a spouse dies without a will or attempt to sell the family's home without consent. The Dower Act's legacy remains significant in Canada's legal history, representing an early step towards financial independence for women and equality.